What's good? My name is Declan Sean Boss, but you probably know me a little better as Fast Company. Today I'm going to show you how I made the music video for my brand new single, Double XP Weekend. I remember I saw the video for Octopus by Block Party all the way back in 2012 when it first came out. And I loved the, stuttery editing of all the instrumental shots. I kind of wish they'd done the whole video like that because, to be honest, I'd never really seen anything quite like it before. So I took it upon myself to rectify that. And just a few weeks before I started shooting, I saw the video for Root of Our Nature, which isn't quite the same, but it still had a lot of the same DNA as like the Octopus video or my video. It's also no secret that I'm a big fan of, Jackass, Viva La Bam, all that type of stuff. And something they do a lot is this like infrared night vision, when they're shooting at night or there's no lighting or whatever. And I don't know what it is, but like something about this has always looked so cool to me. And for years, I've wanted to do a music video with this type of, look going on. So I had the idea, I had the vision, but now I had to get it done. First and foremost, I had to get a drum kit and a dark room. So I rented a rehearsal space and got to work. I had a very specific, maybe autistic formula that I just had to stick to. I recorded the snare and the hi-hats from 8 different angles with 8 unique hits from each angle. And I recorded the kick from 4 different angles with 8 unique hits from every angle. And if you look really closely at some of these shots, you can actually see the ruler that I had attached to the bottom of my camera to make sure that every hit was, the same distance apart. Now, when it came to bass, I knew that the rhythm of the bass line was going to work just perfectly with what I wanted to do. What wasn't perfect was the fact that I'd forgotten how to play the bass line, which is okay because I only had to play one note at a time, but it's no good if I don't know what those notes are. So I wrote down the tabs by hand for me to reference while I was shooting. Now, the glaring issue with this is that due to the nature of the video, I had to shoot in the dark. So do you see where this is going? So I propped up my notebook, balanced the torch on the floor pointing up at the page, turned out the lights and got to work. Now, being such a guitar-driven song, I felt like I had to get a bit more creative with the guitar shots. I didn't just want to shoot in a dark room and have it blend in with everything else. So for the rhythm guitars, I went into the stairwell of my apartment building, posed myself in different spots on the stairs, and just hit a single chord in each spot. So for the intro and the verses, I measured the length of this hallway and marked out 8 equally spaced positions. First, I shot the chords in order, going from one spot to the next. And then to add a bit of chaos, I had my partner bring up a random sequence generator. We'll be seeing a lot more of this later. And I just had her call out a number, and I would go to that corresponding position. But it wasn't until after we were done I realized there was a much easier way to do this. You know what I just realized?
What?
It would have been so much easier for me to record one note at each marker every time, and then randomize it in post. I only just thought of that.
Yeah, you could just record you doing the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
On each.
Now, the last thing I had to do was do my vocal takes. I did shoot some vocal takes the same day I did drums, but to be honest, I wasn't that stoked on them. I wanted something that was going to be a bit more, like all over the place to kind of match the vibe of the song. So I bought this little camera mount to go on the handle of my bike. So I attached my camera, went outside, played the song from my phone in my pocket, and just sang along while I rode my bike around the suburb. And to be honest, I wasn't too happy with these shots either because I had to cut around a lot of stuff like me pushing my glasses up or moving my hair out of the way. But with enough takes, I got there in the end. For the lead guitars, I honestly just climbed over my balcony and used the pop plants on the ledge to mark out a different position because, there was enough pop plants for every note in the sequence. I won't jump the balcony, I'll just do one more from like this side. No, I realised the problem is not the location, but you won't be able to get as many angles if I'm over the balcony.
Oh, that's true.
Wait, how many plants are there? There's 15 notes in that sequence. I'll drop the balcony, I'll stand there, I'll stand right in the middle, and I'll get you to film each note from each plot.
Oh, that's so cool. Okay.
And that gave me this like rotating, matrixy kind of like bullet time effect. Now, one of the shots I'm most proud of was this one. I had the idea, but I just wasn't quite sure if it was going to work. But to my surprise, it came out better than expected. It's similar to the hallway shot, but kind of in reverse. I did the same thing. I marked out some points on the floor. I gave my partner the camera and had her move to the positions as I called them out. Now, the interesting thing about this one is that the positions I marked out on the floor and where I had my partner go while filming directly correlate to the intervals I play on guitar. And to me, that just really strengthened the relationship between the music and the video. Also, not really relevant, but I noticed that when I slowed this down, it kind of sounds like the Sigma Male music.
Fast Company is the future of pop music, whether you like it or not. Fast Company cleaned his room once, and he is now an unstoppable force of nature. You have been warned.
So, you remember that random sequence generator I mentioned earlier? This thing was constantly on my second monitor while I was editing. For instance, when I was doing the drums, I cut down the long take and I got every single hit. You know, let's say the snare, for example. And I would put them in order of every angle and every hit. And then I would generate one number, which would tell me what angle I was going to take it from. And then another number, which would tell me what hit I was going to take from that angle. And then I placed them on the timeline in that order. I started with the hi-hats, then moved on to the kick, and finished with the snare. And I used a similar process when it came to the guitar and the bass, but I had to be a little bit more reserved because I had to convey actual notes here. But the drums, you know, they were a bit more of a free-for-all. Now, the shot I mentioned before, you know, with the Sigma male music, because the take was so long, I had to approach it a bit different. So I went through the entire take, made a cut where each note was played, and placed them right on the beat. Now, obviously, the footage is going to severely outlast the music, so I sped up each note by like a ridiculous amount to line up with the next note. Due to the nature of A, the riff, and B, how it was shot, they were all going to be different speeds, but in the end, I think it worked out great. Now, once all the individual parts of the song were edited, I had to turn this mess into an actual music video somehow. Now, to be fair to the process, I let the numbers take the wheel and see what I ended up with. I made this massive spreadsheet that determined the parts of the song and what instruments were playing at any given time. And here comes that sequence generator again. You can probably guess what I did next. That's right, I gave every instrument a number and every take or angle inside of that another number. I clicked that again button until my index finger was crooked and the video was done. Now, I must confess, I did break the rules a little bit. For example, in the interest of being true to the numbers and violently specific, like I might flag one bar as having vocals when in reality the vocals only take up a very small space in that bar, making for some not very interesting footage. I also had what I referred to as non-negotiable. Parts of the video I was really attached to and not willing to let go of in place of something else. But other than that, everything you saw was truly random. So that's how I made Double XP Weekend. A very jittery, sporadic sounding song needs a video to match, of course. While it was simple in nature, this video was really hard to put together. It also didn't help that the day before the video dropped, I had kind of lost track of time and I thought I had an extra 24 hours to work on the video. I realized on Thursday morning that I didn't have anything close to that. So I ended up pulling an all-nighter and posting the video just a few hours before it was supposed to go live. And I must be getting old because I'm not kidding. That all-nighter staring at my computer legit took me out for the next 3 or 4 days. And what did you think of the video? Let me know down below, and can you think of anything similar? Because to be honest, I'd love to see more videos like this. And just before I go, let me remind you to follow me on Spotify. If you're watching this on YouTube, the link's down here. If you're watching it anywhere else, it's in my bio. And stay up to date on all my future releases. So thank you guys so much. Take care, and I'll see you soon.
There's lots of young women out there who've never seen anything remotely resembling a positive male role model. And it's no bloody wonder that those girls are attracted by the radical leftist insistence that the patriarchy is an oppressive monster. It's no bloody wonder they're skeptical of the patriarchy and then avoidant of men.